Which actor crushed a role so hard that nobody else will be able to live up to it? Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Andy Serkis as Gollum, Alan Rickman as Severus Snape, Martin Freeman as Bilbo Baggins, Gary Oldman as Dracula, Raul Julia as Gomez Adams, John C. McGinley as Dr. Cox, Maggie Smith as Professor McGonagall, Christian Bale in American Psycho, Jessica Walter in Arrested Development, and Archer. Her mean mum character dynamic is gold. Madeline Kahn as Mrs. White, Andre the Giant in The Princess Bride, Louise Fletcher as Nurse Ratched in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Leslie Nielsen as Frank Drebin, Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn. Best book to movie translation for a character I've ever seen. Val Kilmer in Tombstone, amazing Doc Holliday. Every once in a while there's a role that it seems like the actor was born to play. There's really not another role that compares in his career. Christopher Lee is basically anything. Ron Swanson. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Gene Wilder as Willy Wonka. Imelda Staunton as Dolores Umbridge. Umbridge sucked in the books. But in the movies she turned Umbridge into a character that you just don't like into one that you hate with a burning passion. Michael Keaton in Beetlejuice. Christopher Lloyd as Doc in Back to the Future. Tom Hanks as Woody in Toy Story. Other characters I feel could be replaced quite easily. Tim Allen is obviously brilliant as Buzz. But it's a pretty standard Captain Kirk-inspired space captain performance. But I just can't imagine Tom Hanks' manic, neurotic Woody being played by anyone else. It's really impressive to see a screen actor do such a good job as a voiceover too. A lot of them end up sucking. Because cartoons require pretty big, exaggerated performances for them to work. And actors can seem to either do it or not. Danny Trejo as Machete. Tim Curry. Frank N. Furter. Anyone else in the role knows they never live up to that sexy god of a man. I Can Make You a Man is the most brilliant filthy scene to appear on cinema screens while people aren't nude. Jeff Goldblum as Jeff Goldblum. Sigourney Weaver as Ellen Ripley. Ian McKellen is the one true Gandalf, both true Gandalfs. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator. James Gandolfini as Tony Soprano. I really can't see anyone else as Hellboy. Ron Perlman was amazing. Ronald Lee Ermey as Gunnery Sergeant Hartman in Full Metal Jacket. Johnny Depp and Captain Jack Sparrow. Sir Patrick Stewart as Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Jodie Foster as Clarice Starling. I particularly love the scene where she looks at Buffalo Bill's victim and you hear her voice crack during the first part of the description, where she is looking at tiny personal details like painted fingernails, but then go clinical and determined when she sees the wounds on the girl's back. Playing badass women often veers either towards emotionless and stalwart, or basically aping a 80s action male role. Foster nailed the emotional vulnerability, ambition, and courage of that character in minute, but profound ways. No one compares. Hugh Laurie, Dr. House. Christina Ricci as Wednesday Addams. Patrick Stewart as Professor X. And everyone knew it would happen a decade before the first X-Men movie. John Malkovich in Being John Malkovich. Tom Hanks as Forrest Gump. Rainn Wilson as Dwight Schrute. Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Edit. Thanks for all the awards and upvotes. RDJ definitely deserves all the credit though. Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. He's so deeply connected to that character that I feel it would be impossible for anyone else to fill the fedora. Rowan Atkinson as Mr. Bean. Kelsey Grammer, Frasier Crane. Danny DeVito's Frank Reynolds is the best piece of casting this century. Peter Dinklage as Tyrion Lannister, amazing acting. Thank you all for my very first awards! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Steve Carell as Michael Scott. Robin Williams as the Genie. Christoph Waltz as Hans Landa in Inglourious Basterds. Joaquin Phoenix as Commodus in Gladiator. I have never hated a character so much till I saw him in that movie. He is so cowardly, despicable, and creepy. Phoenix did such a good job in making you loathe his character. Waiting for Heath Ledger comments. Jim Carrey in The Mask. When they inevitably recast Jack Sparrow, it'll be clear just how big a gap there is. J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson, edit, from James to John to J. The entire main cast of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Ryan Reynolds did an excellent job being Deadpool to the point where I am reading a Deadpool comic book with Reynolds' voice in my head narrating it. John Dunsworth as Mr. Lay in Trailer Park Boys. Evanna Lynch, who played Luna Lovegood in Harry Potter. One of the best casting decisions ever. Carrie Fisher is forever Princess Leia. Ian McDiarmid as Emperor Palpatine, case in point, this scene. Bryan Cranston as Walter White. There is no one else who knocks, edit. Damn, this blew TF up. Thanks for the upvotes and rewards, and thank you Bryan Cranston, you are clearly amazing. Just ask Reddit. Alan Rickman as Severus Snape. Jack Nicholson in The Shining. David Duchovny as Fox Mulder and Gillian Anderson as Dana Scully.